Thank you, MC Chinode, my brother. We have known each other for a very long time. No wonder the interlink that you've bestowed an award for us. But for me, it's not our success. I see Zimbabwe and Zambia as one country. It's only a river in between. We share the biggest wonder, the Kariba Dam, together. We share the Victoria Falls together. And I think if you go back to the colonial era, there were a lot of intermarriages. So I see ourselves as one people. But again, thank you for the compliments, for complimenting me. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, officials from the embassy, and the organizers of the Zambian network, Mr. Penza, Joe, and the rest of the other team, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for inviting me to this occasion. As I was seated there listening to Mr. Chowdhury and Pilar, I got so excited because networking is one of my biggest hobbies. As you can see me standing here, I'm a product of very good network. But let me dwell into the reason why I'm here. I was invited here to share a story of encouragement with many of the people from the Zambian community and other communities that are here. I've come here to encourage you. And my word of encouragement is that you as the diaspora, you are important. You as the diaspora, you are distinguished. The Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. So you did not leave Zambia to come here just because it was an opportunity. No, God made it a purpose so that you come here and you make a difference from the education that you are going to get, from the cultural socialization that you are going to get. All these are valuable ingredients that when you put them together and you go to Zambia, this is why you start to complain when you get into the airport that the service is slow here and this is that here, this is that. It is the value of the learning that you have. But my message today is to encourage you to say, yes, it's good to be here, but it's also good to make a difference back home. I think Chino has mentioned a lot about what we do. I'm here wearing two hats. The first hat is of Team Zimbabwe UK, which is one of the other biggest Zimbabwean diaspora organizations. But our organization, unlike many, is not a business organization. It's a social organization. It is the bedrock of the community. We were organizing people, supporting people, their mental health. The diaspora has a lot of challenges. When people are arriving from home, some find it very difficult socially to connect. And we felt befitting that we should form a social organization that engages in community cohesion, bringing people together, celebrating the Zimbabweanness, the independence, our history, and events. And our organization is one of the longest and most successful, far ahead the other business organizations. I'm not saying business is not important. It is important. But for a community to thrive, they also need good social well-being, social economic development. Without social, economic suffers as well. So if you're not motivated, strong, proud, coming out, you cannot conquer the economy. So we integrated the two and it was a success. And I'm proud to be here, that my fellow colleagues has invited me here. And what I want to say before I finish is to leave you with some key words of encouragement. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here for a purpose. The diaspora is powerful. You can do wonders. Us in Zimbabwe, through our embassy, we have what are called the diaspora clusters. Our new ambassador in the Second Republic in 2018 came here and reorganized us. The mantra or the theme of our new government, which is the Second Republic, headed by President Emerson Mnangagwa, was that Zimbabwe is open for business. And the second sentence was engagement and re-engagement. So the country took on its toll to engage its diaspora community first and to engage with all other countries that want to work with us. Prior to this, you know our politics. Our politics was very toxic for some good reasons and some bad reasons as well. But when the new president came, he said, let's burn bridges, let bygones be bygones, let's rebuild relations with all the nations that want to work us, including the British government. So I'm delighted to say, with the embassy, with the diaspora clusters, they were arranged, they mirror the different ministries that we have in Zimbabwe. So we have a mining cluster, we have an agricultural cluster, we have an economy and development cluster. So what the ambassador did, our ambassador, His Excellency Colonel Retired Katsande, organized us as the diaspora from different groups. I know sometimes we struggle as the diaspora because we've got so many different groups and everyone wants to be in charge or want their group to be recognized. But the ambassador said, put your heads aside and just go into where you think your skills are most required. So people chose different clusters. I was lucky with my previous work that I was asked to be one of the cluster coordinators, not manager, a coordinator, a servant. So I volunteered to do that work, and I'm glad that under the clusters with the embassy, we've done a lot of exciting things. I'll just name a few successes that we have had. Firstly, we have an organization, a diaspora organization called Zimbabwe Midwife and Nurses Association. So this organization is formed of NHS professionals, people that have been working here in the NHS in health, midwives and doctors. They've helped to send equipment, hospital equipment that is not required here by the NHS Trust. So we have two key health organizations that have signed MOUs with the NHS, and they've been sending equipment from laptops, from scanning machines, from anything that when a hospital is being downgraded here, they go in and we take that equipment and send it to Zimbabwe. As I speak, we have a hospital in Sanyati, which has been newly refurbished with equipment from here worth 350,000 by the diaspora. We have also another hospital in Masvingo, a mental health hospital, which is called Ngomahuru. It was recapitalized by the diaspora. And let me make it clear here that thank you also to the British government, because the equipment was donated by the NHS, but we came together as the diaspora to donate to ship it. I think you all know sending a container is not an easy thing. It needs you guys to come together and make a difference. And sometimes it's easy to stand out as an individual, but life has taught me that it's better to stand out as a group. There's more to gain as a group than as an individual. So the message I leave today is that work together. There is power in togetherness. I believe in shared leadership. This is why I'm a cluster coordinator. I'm not a cluster director. I'm not a cluster, but I just coordinate. And I believe the people I work with, they're actually the managers. I coordinate. And we've had so much success in health, like I've told you now. We have so much success in philanthropy, so many diaspora groups paying school fees for disadvantaged children. In Goromonzi, where I come from myself, which is very close to Harare, every secondary school, primary school, we have 18 schools in that area. I have given them football kits and everything. And again, all sourced from here, and my expense was shipping with friend coming in to help. Whilst we are on football, I want to congratulate the Zambia UK Football Initiative. Well done, guys. It's good to know that you are here. Please, if you are going to clap properly, because I can ask you to clap again. Thank you. I want to thank you guys. There's one interesting thing which I'm going to say before I sit down. I know time is an issue. We, with Team Zimbabwe UK, one of the most successful projects we did was to go around the UK and other European nations and scout for our diaspora football talent. I think you all know, for years, Zimbabwe has been playing second fiddle to Zambia when it comes to football. Even on the day we opened our national sports stadium, we celebrated our independence. You guys came and won our independence trophy in our own stadium. But I'm excited to stand here and say almost close to 37, 38 years later down the line, I'm glad, 42 years actually, I'm glad and excited to say that in the last 10 years, Zimbabwe is qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations more than Zambia has done. And this is not because Zambia is not good anymore. No, this is because us as Team Zimbabwe UK, we've harnessed our diaspora talent that is in here. And in the last 7 years, we've had at least 7 to 10 professional players playing in the lower English tier championship and the Premier League go and play into our national team. It was a fight to get that. As you know, all the stories about football, people coming from abroad, taking the game away, the opportunities away, who are they? They've never been to the country. But let me tell you, it can be done. and it can be done the right way. We did it pretty much the Chinese way, because we didn't go with the players first. We went out with handouts first in grassroots football, distributing kids football from Team Zimbabwe UK all over the country, schools and everything. So when we brought the players, we then went for a tour with the players in, I think, 2017 also. So we took a group of under 23, sharp, skillful, and we took them. I think almost 80% of them were born here. They'd never seen Zimbabwe in the light, but their parents trusted us with us. We went there and we played 4 friendly games. And those people that had criticized Diaspora talent, we shut them out, because we never lost a game when we were in Zimbabwe. We only drew 1 game, courtesy, to leave a smile into people's face. Our boys were playing against Zim Premier League teams, and we had to tell them to slow down. They were in top form, and everybody, when I left, they were pulling me to say, get the players now. And it was not a surprise that I got into the plane with the players, and I went for camp with them. And it has been a successful story. For the last 3 Africa Cup of Nations, Zimbabwe has qualified consecutively. Listen, it's not a joke. We took almost 24 years before we qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations. It's not a miracle that we don't worry about qualifying nowadays. We actually worried about winning it. But this has all happened as a result of the skills that are here, the work that we have done here. So let me remind all of you here that you have a duty to play. Zambia will be great again with all of you here, people. I'm telling you this, if you put your skills together, you may say that there are not many Zambians in the UK. But let me tell you, having a smaller community is actually an advantage and effective in making a difference back home. And charity begins at home. So the difference I'm talking to started at home. I was blessed, myself coming here, that the first project I did was to put electricity in my village. That was the first project I did. I could have built a house for my parents, but I felt it sweet that it was important because of the struggles that I've seen in my village, that whatever savings I had for the first time, I had to put electricity in my village. And I can tell you that 15 years later, I had to send the first laptop at the primary school. Again, there is hope in us. Sometimes when you do things, people will slacken again, but you have to encourage people. But I'm glad that in my community, after I've put the electricity, the whole village is almost electrified now. Other families have come up and they're helping to make things happen. So before I end, I just have a small word that I want to leave you. So just bear with me before I finish it, Chino. I know you're looking at me time. Allow me to share with you a Bible verse in Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 to 4. I shall read. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourself. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. I read this verse now and then to encourage myself that we are not into competition as diasporans, but we are here to complement each other. We are on a journey to take everything good that we have learned from here. And remember, I've said everything good. There are also bad things that can be learned into the diaspora. But my goal and mission as one of the diaspora community leaders in Zimbabwe is to ensure that everything good that we can get from this country, we take it back to Zimbabwe. Technology, finance, and a lot of other things. I have a lot more stories to share, but let me leave those later for networking. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for taking time to listen. Thank you.